It appears that all hearts and minds are clear. Madam Comptroller, could you please prepare the screen for a vote? Oh, sorry, my bad, y'all. Thank you for catching me. My apologies. We have at least 2 comment cards. Ms. Amber Sherman. Well, I mean, unless you want Mr. Kent, since he's already up here to come. Come on, Joe. Mr. Kent.
Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. I'm opposed to this resolution for our $2 billion public industrial engineering firm, and I believe it is in agreement with MLGW administration. The reason is that you rarely pull items from the consent agenda of over $250,000 when we had 27 on the agenda today. I see this as theater.
Hey, Mr. Kent.
At the same time,
this is item number 43.
Your chairman elects to not leverage local grassroots public.
This is item number 43. Are you speaking on item number 43?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, wait a second. Why are you cutting me off?
Hold on.
2 minutes.
Hold on.
Why are you cutting me off?
I asked the question. I'm going to cut your mic back on. Please answer.
I've got a lot of things to say about MLGW. I'm using it this time to do it, so don't cut me off. I need 2 minutes.
Joe, he was trying to ask you a question and you wouldn't respond.
No, he's cutting my mic off.
Yes, because he asked you a question.
You asked me questions at the end of my comment. Look, McGowan.
This is what we're not going to do. I asked the question. All I would like is a response. You're not going to talk at me. You're not going to demean me. I address you as Mr. Kent. That's all I ask. You answer my question. We're going to put a minute, 42 seconds on the clock, and you can continue with your comments.
At the same time.
Can we I get the mic back on. Mr. Kent, go ahead.
At the same time, your chairman elects to not leverage local grassroots public expertise in recognizing public comment before the consent agenda is considered. That is on the chairman and this council.
Thank you.
I do understand that MLGW capital improvements is a tough and imperfect job. Like, for example, tree trimmers working with saws at midnight last night outside my home during sleep hours. I'm not complaining. It's a tough, imperfect challenge. What I do not understand is the lack of MLGW financial transparency after a 12% rate increase. You have yet to see the end of year 2023 monthly December financials. Dana Jeans has testified to that they're kept up to date. You have yet to see the end of year 2023 monthly December financials. Dana Jeans has testified to that they're kept up to date by the day. The published version should be available to you 30 days from the month end close, and you should have December, January, and February by now. You haven't seen any of those. There's no financial transparency. I'm opposed to Doug McGowan's appointment, not because he did not have formal industry experience, but because he did not practice transparency with the Riverfront Steering Committee. John Butler, the Agri Center, was appointed. The Agri Center doesn't do practice transparency. And I do not understand why MLGW did not have representation at the Tennessee General Assembly on House Bill 34 on the Landlord-Tenant Act that was supported by the city, county, and supported by MLGW. And finally, I do not understand why Ursula Madden couldn't get the news out related to the Landlord-Tenant Act, and why you don't have any partnership with the suburban communities on landlord-tenant, which or MLGW doesn't have any support on clean water from Kevin Vaughn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. Always good to see you. I will tell you to come back, but we know you will be. Ms. Amber Sherman. Oh, it's 21st century. You know what to do.
Good evening. Glenda Hicks, 608 Gillies Road, advocate, co-founder, 21st Century Memphis Bus. I came this afternoon to speak regarding the MLGW consent agenda item number 32, but was told that I could not. And I'm a bit baffled as to the processes that are in place that would not allow a citizen investor to speak on an issue of concern to all citizenry and ratepayers. I did have some information of dire concern regarding that particular item. And yes, the item addressed electric meters, but there is an issue of communication transmission of data when it comes to those smart meters. That has been an issue that has also been a factor in delayed billing. So the fact that I was not allowed to speak, I believe deserves addressing. And why a citizen cannot speak on consent agenda items deserves an explanation. I think it's just a matter of due respect that a citizen can come respectfully and address issues of concern, any issue, and certainly do not understand how one could be told, no, you cannot address that item. So I would appreciate an explanation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks. Thank you for coming. And as always, we appreciate your comments and your insight as it relates to MLGW. Samaya, you here? Come on, Mr. Kent.
Joe Kent, 5111 Flamingo. On the chamber, as you consider partnerships, the chamber is the least transparent organization in the city of Memphis. I was kicked out of the chamber as a member with no reason for me being kicked out. They would never provide me a copy of the bylaws, while other chambers around the country make bylaws available to non-members. Secondly, Bobby White testified today that in Memphis, CCTE or vocational education had been recently stigmatized. This has not been the case elsewhere, and for some time around the country when I came back to Memphis 10 years ago, so it hasn't been going on. Chamber is 10 years behind. In fact, the Chamber, through a lack of execution for taxpayers and advocacy, effectively partnered with Seeding Success and More for Memphis to botch the workforce development system over at least 5 years, if not more. Keep in mind, there has been WIN, GMACW, Upskill 901, Workforce Mid-South, which were all failures with heavy chamber involvement. So how do you fail that many times? Because you are so behind through local funding and narrative in which university education has been prioritized, it's just overtly stupid to prioritize that for economic development, university education. And the other thing, you can't do your jobs without this. You can't do your jobs without the monthly financials on a capital improvement campaign. You just can't do it. And MLGW is not providing financials transparent on a monthly basis. They're not doing it. Y'all have never even seen one of these. They're concealing this information. And I would ask you, Mr. Chairman, this is a council matter, to provide an explanation for why after a 12% rate increase and $150 million, that you will not recognize the public for the MLGW consent agenda. And an explanation is due to the public. So please explain. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kent. We appreciate you always. I was really looking forward to one of your hats today. Ms. Suzanne Jackson. Hey, Ms. Jackson, how are you?